Welcome to the Real Rebuild podcast. Today we bring Cari Muggs on to the podcast and talk about psychic mediums. This is an interesting podcast as we dive into the other side of the spirit world. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode.
So we brought Cari. I don't know if it's Muggs, Muggle.
So I go by Cari Muggs, but
Muggs.
My last name is Muggleston, but everybody kind of knows me as Cari Muggs because Muggleston is so hard to remember.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
It does have
remember
like a nice like punch to it.
Cari
Muggs.
Muggs.
Cari Muggs.
Yeah, she's my new best
Just
friend. She
say it
doesn't
like
know
you're a
that she's
thug.
my best friend yet. And she is a medium, the coolest medium, I think, on planet Earth. So, I mean, is that correct? Is that how
The
you...
coolest one ever? Yeah, I know. Well, there's some other cool ones too, but yeah, psychic medium.
Psychic medium.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Is what makes you a psychic medium? What does that mean?
So psychic is when you read people. So psychics are people who can read people and people's energy. Mediums are people who connect to the other side and actually talk to people on the other side. I can do both. So if I'm doing a psychic reading, I actually prefer to connect to the other side just because what I get is more accurate. Whereas if I were to do a psychic reading and I read your energy, I could pick up everything you wanted me to, and I would tell you everything you wanted. So, but like a mediumship is when you actually like talk to people on the other side and they tell me all the things about you. And, and here's the thing too, they can never like make decisions for you. So you have to make your own decisions, but they can kind of say, they can guide and direct you. But they just are kind of like, this is kind of the way maybe you want to go or how it is going to,
I love it. So, I mean, I've already got 14 million questions. My first one, we're just going back to when you were a baby. So,
Wait, I gotta tell her though what I heard
oh, okay.
real quick. Just because you said she's the coolest medium,
Yeah.
because you really are. Because I don't even know you, but Devin was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to a medium," and I was with someone last night, and I said, "Oh, my friend Devin's going to a medium," and he was like, "Well, there's only one in town that's good. There's only one," and I'm like, "How do you know? Have you been?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "So how do you know?" I'm like, "My sister's like a fanatic, and has gone to like Vegas and different like places trying to like find like good mediums or not, I don't know, maybe authentic ones. It would be a
Right.
good word for it."
right.
And I was like, "Well, who is it?" And he's like, Cari Muggs, Muggles, something like that. And I'm like,
That's
"That's where we went to." So just
That's awesome.
a little validation. You are the coolest.
Oh, good.
Apparently,
Thank
just
you
to
very
a
much.
medium connoisseur.
Thank you.
Super cool. No, I think speaking from my own experience, right? Like I met you yesterday and we got to do what do you call it? A session?
It was a hybrid. So
hybrid.
so basically what yours was is the people on the other side for you came through and told me all about you and validated things that were going on in your life and telling me this is what he's doing, this is what he's doing, this is where he needs to go, this is what his dreams are, his goals are. That's kind of what happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happened yesterday.
I mean, it was crazy because like obviously you go, I mean, me personally, right? First real experience with that. And so you're wondering, is this real?
Right.
You know?
And everybody should. Everybody should honestly go in and have questions, question everything, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody should.
Well, I think the thing I liked the most, what I told my wife, right, was I don't feel like you didn't want me to feed you information. And the only questions you ever asked me was, does this make sense?
Yeah, all the time. It's like a habit now. I'm like, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because I always want to make sure I'm at least going in the right direction. Because if
Yeah.
I'm not, I want to know, right? Because I want to be able to like figure out what I'm doing wrong. It's like a puzzle to me, and I like to put all the pieces together. I just don't want to force the puzzle pieces to fit.
Mhm.
And so if I'm forcing it, it's not. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to.
I mean, to me, it was like right off the bat, you said your prayer, and it was immediate, like boom. And I mean, so like there's people that came through for me, and I remember you saying that, all right, it's usually the loudest ones that get heard first.
Yes. So I tell a lot of people, I want you to imagine yourself sitting at a restaurant and you have a blindfold on and all of your people on the other side are sitting at this table with you at the restaurant. So not only are you getting all this backup noise from the restaurant, but you're also, who's ever sitting at the table, they're all trying to talk to me at the same time. And so whoever is the loudest actually gets the most attention.
Yeah.
And so that's why sometimes when you go to galleries, when I do galleries and I do great big readings, sometimes if your people aren't loud, then I tell people all the time, if you're going to a gallery, tell your loudest person on the other side to like break through first, and then your family will follow. Like the person that you want to hear from will follow.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that was that happened to me last night, right? You said the loudest person will come through first. Undoubtedly, my sister is the loudest person on planet Earth. That's not on Earth, I guess, whatever you call it.
Is she related to Macy?
Yes,
Like
they're twins.
See that?
Yeah. And so like when she came first, I was like, that is 100% true. Right. I'm like, out of the people that I spoke with, like, yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
You know, and then you started saying, I mean, it was just like, yeah, is there things that you could have looked up? Yes. But were there things that you said that I don't know how far you would have had to dug and that I've never even spoke about? Where I'm like, yes, you definitely spoke
I
about
think
things.
that's the thing is the details. There's so many details that they bring through that there's no one would ever know. Like the random details, like you bought shoes at Target yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff that people you don't find that anywhere else. That's the details are what it's in the details.
It was
Yeah.
big time. I
Yeah.
mean, it goes down to like when you ask me, have you been shopping for cars? And I've just been like shopping around on Marketplace. I haven't even done. Yeah. And she's like, I'm like, okay. Like you don't just make that up.
Yeah, you don't. And that's just because and some people think, I mean, that's super random. Why would your sister bring that up, right? But
Yeah.
it's because she wants you to know she's with you.
Yeah, she's
So
like
she's-
excited too. Like
yes,
she
and she's
also
like,
wants you to
"Oh,
know it's real.
Yeah, and she wants to help you pick out the car. Like they're still the same. Our souls are eternal. So they're with you throughout your whole life. And it's this weird thing that when people think people pass over or they transition, it's like they move to Texas and they never call you or ever communicate with you again. It's not like that. They're just at a different frequency. They're still around us. They're still with us all the time. Like, so let's say that you passed away tomorrow. Okay. Would you just like take off and be like, see you, family? You would be like, I'm going to stick around. I'm going to take care of my wife. I'm going to take care of my kids. That's how they are. You're still very much in a relationship. It's just I like to think that they're like, so we're all from the ocean, right? Or we're all water, and people that are alive are like ice cubes, and the people that are transitioned are like steam. They still exist. They're still around. You just can't see them, but they can see you, and they're just at a different frequency. It's all about energy. It's all energy.
I loved it. And dude, it was like I had my own crazy stories even today following it up. So you told me that my sister comes through as butterflies, right?
Okay.
I've never noticed this before, ever. I go pick my son up, and you told me that my sister looks out over my kids. I go pick my son up from his daycare. I'm getting him out. I hold him. He's like, Dad, butterflies all around his daycare door.
Shut up.
No kidding. He's never said that before ever in my
Never
life. I've
pointed
never
it out.
Never.
Wow.
That's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on here?
It's like the best creeped out feeling ever.
It is, but it's
Yeah.
like so cool. Like I was scared, right? I'm also scared because who knows? Maybe you could just be telling me the coolest story I wanted to hear, But
Right.
at the same time,
There's just too many. But honestly, there's no way I could have told you the coolest story you wanted to hear because there was too many details, right?
Yeah,
Like of
yep.
your life, like that I would have never known.
Yep.
And so that's where it's just really the details and the accuracies just like in that.
I mean, yeah. There's obviously way more. I'll say, like, I guess one other thing that really stood out to me is when you told me that the people that talked to me, right? So I'll tell you who came through. It was my sister, Tanner, and Lyle, my father-in-law. And you said to me that, hey, they hear you talking to them.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I haven't told a single soul that I talked to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, and so I was like, okay. Like no one, I even told my wife that, like
Yeah.
I'm over here praying or whatever you want to call it, talking to them, like asking for guidance, making sure they know I'm thankful, making sure I'm trying to be on like the right track, those kind of things, and like leading me to where I want to be. And who knows, right? I'm a human. I just go about my day. But when you say like, hey, they hear you talking to them
Yeah.
specifically, I'm like, that's crazy.
Actually love it when you talk to them out loud because it just taps into their radio frequency. So they're all like like everything's an energy, right? So it's like one of those old radio stations where it was like all staticky, and then when you tune in, so when you talk out loud to them, it tunes you right into them, and so it's just like them tuning right back in. It's actually kind of cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
And crazy. Like, I don't know. And it like excites me.
Why it
to
excites
know.
me? I wasn't even there.
It's
Like-
so funny because it's just kind of cool to know though that they don't cease to exist. They're still very
Yeah,
much
that's
around us.
huge.
They still like love everything we do. They still watch over us. They still protect us. It's just kind of cool to know that you're never really alone. You're
Mhm.
they're always with you. And they're not like, they don't watch you take showers and stuff like that. They don't care about that stuff, right? They don't.
Well,
Yeah.
if Devin left, I think he'd still.
I'd be watching every.
But I don't think you care.
Jordan still would have zero
yeah,
privacy,
yeah.
but less privacy even.
Yeah. I get
No.
that question all the time. Do they watch me take showers? And like they don't care about that stuff. They just are so into you as a spirit or as a person or you authentically that they don't care about the physical stuff.
Well, and that watching people like being naked, like we made that, right?
Yeah,
like
we do. It's
as
like
like
not a thing.
humanity, we made
Yeah.
like, and so after I would like to assume that after
Yeah, because our
this life,
yeah,
that's all gone.
our bodies are just like it's kind of hard to explain, but like cars, right? We get into a car. The car is like the body, the outer shell. We
Mhm.
run it. So it's the same thing. Our spirit gets in outside of our bodies and they direct our spirit directs the bodies. It's kind of the same thing. Then you don't really care some people care what other people drive, but you don't really care. It doesn't make the person any different because the person
Yeah.
inside the spirit's a whole different thing.
What's
And
that
when you're
saying?
over to the other side and you have like that full understanding
Mhm.
of everything, like the trivial things that would be like embarrassing, quote
Yeah,
unquote,
that's
like it's just like not even a thing.
yeah, because
Right?
they've been human too. They know, they understand it, right?
What's that saying that's like you're not a human being having a spiritual experience, you're a
Yours.
spiritual being having a human
Yes.
experience? That's
Mhm.
kinda like how you
Yes.
see it?
That's kind of how I see it.
That's cool. I mean, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but there's things that just line up and I'm like, "Okay, I think that, like, aligns for me."
Yeah. It's actually really it's kind of wait, it's not kind of, it's really cool. And I just feel really humbled and honored to be the bridge, like the medium, like the translator. And I don't care what anybody says, like I interpret people talking to you in spirit. I can interpret wrong. It's not always 100% accurate. No medium ever
Sure.
is. And so that is like a lot of responsibility sometimes because people will sometimes hang on to what I say forever, especially because I give them recordings after. And so there's a lot of there's a lot of responsibility with that. So it kind of makes me like I have to be really careful about how I present things or how I say things because really I could say the wrong thing and it could like if they honestly think that their dad is there in spirit talking to them and it could devastate them, right? So I have to make sure I interpret it all correctly. That's a lot of pressure sometimes.
I'm sure that feels super
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. How often do you do that?
So I do 3 every day, except for Mondays.
I don't know, like emotionally, like that's gotta be.
Yeah.
I just think hearing somebody talk about, like, just like hearing like Devin talk about. Obviously, like I love and care about Devin, so his experience was like something I really wanted to hear about. But even just like hearing about someone else's experience is like emotional for me. So I can't imagine like being there, witnessing it, feeling it, because I'm sure you feel some of the
Right.
emotions for.
Yes, and that's what the galleries do. So I'll do galleries where like 70 people will come, anywhere from like 10 to 70 people, and I'll just do as many. It's like shotgun readings. Like I'll do as many
Yeah.
as I can, and I want to get as many people as I can because I want to have them. But but like if you were at a gallery and he was getting a reading, you would experience it. So the galleries are kind of cool because you get to see other people experience it, and that's kind of like
Yeah,
that's
for
kind of
sure.
cool too.
Do you get
Yeah.
tired? This is kind of like an off-the-handed question,
So
but
tired.
but do you also get tired of having like I love that you were like everyone should question it. Everyone should question it and question everything. Like I love that you show up that way, but is it tiring to consistently have to defend
Um,
your gift?
It used to be, especially when I was like, transitioning over to it, but now I don't care. If you don't believe
You're
me,
like,
I'm not
pack
here.
sand.
I'm not here to prove anything. So it's so funny because in the beginning, I would get people that, would just try and prove me wrong, but my prices were lower. But then what would happen is I would start to get like booked out so far that I'd be like, oh crap, I got to raise my prices because I got to get on top of my schedule. And so that's why I started doing galleries because I felt bad because I kept having to raise my prices to get on top of my schedule. And then I got to the point where my prices were at the point where no one's going to pay that much just to come in and prove me wrong. Like no one's going to
Yeah.
come in. And honestly, if there's somebody that's sitting across from me on the couch and they're like arms folded and they're like, nope, nope, nope. I'll be like, here's your money back. You can go. I don't have anything to prove to you. Like I used to feel like I did, but I used to feel like, oh, they're going to, like, I always used to feel like it was a test that I had to like always. And now I'm just like, you know what? It's just what I do. If I don't, I even tell you, like I say, you know, if we get into this in a 10 or 15 minutes and nothing is resonating with you, I'll give you your money back because I'm not here. I don't, yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be a great experience for you. And if it's not, then I don't want to waste your time or mine. That's just
Yeah.
kind of how it is.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, like how fast it was, the transition from your prayer to what you were telling me was like,
I know a lot of people say that like my whole personality changes or my whole demeanor changes. Like I just go right in. A lot of mediums call it sitting in the power, and not like power like Jafar, I have all the power thing, but like your own power, like electricity power. So like mediums call it sitting in the power. And so it just all of a sudden, I've been doing it for over 13 years. So as soon as I say that prayer protection, it's just like right in. It's just like we go.
it was cool. And it
Just
was
to say
so
that
fast.
you said prayer protection. So tell us what that is.
So at the beginning of each reading, I always say, we ask thee to, now that I'm on the, I forget what I said. It's a prayer to protect us. Like we ask thee that all those that do come through to like only the highest good can come through and just make it so it's all protected. And then I just kind of say this, it is done. And then we go into it. Yeah.
So are you
So
doing
you
that
still
to
have Satan
avoid?
inside of you.
She didn't get it out of him.
Oh.
Dang it. No, I didn't get it.
And
She
you were-
said no.
you were
She wasn't
protected.
even like, oh, he doesn't have. She just was like, nope, I didn't get it. It's there.
Yeah,
So funny.
No. Wow. Shoot, Tommy. No, I don't remember.
It's all
That's-
right.
No, that's okay.
So-
But do you do that to you're protecting yourself
Every
from like
single
bad?
reading. Yeah, because you
Okay.
can, there's people out there that are like, oh, she's talking to Satan the whole time. Those really aren't your people. But honestly, did you feel that when you were
No.
there? Like it was all highest good. It was all highest good, your best interest. But yes, there can be like I protect my office like daily or weekly, and then I protect every reading that I do, just because sometimes there can be lower frequencies that do want to like mess with or
hurt
sometimes too,
people.
I think that, even yeah, I'm trying to think of it, but there's like one time I was doing a reading and the lady said, can you reach so and so? And I said, let me try. And I just said, say the name because I couldn't feel anything. And then I said, they're not letting him through. And she's like, yeah, that's because he was and then she like named a serial killer's name. And I said, yeah, my guides, my people aren't going to let him through.
dang.
Guides is what she
helping-
said.
Yeah. So this person had worked with this like serial killer and a lot of the information in the reading was about her work and everything. And then at the end, she wanted to see, can I actually talk to him? And I tried and I was like, no, they're not letting him in. And she said, that's because it's this person.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Do you just feel like I don't know, like, have you experienced like dark people, I guess?
A lot of times, so I have experienced people who did bad things, yes. But most of the time, they come through and apologize because when they transition, they see their life review. And when I say life review, a lot of people think that they're standing next to like Jesus or somebody and they're being judged for what they did. And that's not how it is. You're looking at the things that you did in your life. And it's not a pass or fail type of thing. It's experiences. You look at all the experiences that you had and you look at why you did some of the things you did and you understand the bigger picture of it. I did that because this happened when I was little, and so my mind was thinking in that way. So you see like the bigger picture. You see it's like an all-knowing type of thing, but you also get to see why other people do the things they do, which puts you at a more forgiving stance, right? Because you are like, well, they did that because of this. So when people do come through that have done bad things, most of the time, like 95% of the time, it's always with remorse. It's always with, I'm sorry that I did that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure, they have a lot of grace for themselves and
Yeah.
and other people. And I think it's really hard to actually apologize and be accountable if you don't have any grace for yourself.
Right. And so that's why I always tell people at the beginning too, if there is somebody that wants to come through and apologize for something that you don't want to forgive, you just tell me, because if you're not ready, then I'm not going to let them come through. I'm not going to let them continue because that's not fair to the person on the couch, right? That's not fair. If they haven't processed the bad things that happened, it's not really fair for them to have this spirit come in and be like, please forgive me. That's not me. That's not for me to do that. That's between them. And so if they can't figure that out, then when they transition, they will. they'll process it over on the other side.
So crazy. Tommy, we haven't even let you say one word.
It's kind of how it usually
I
goes,
think
though.
he's kind of just like, this is crazy.
No, I got a lot of things rolling around inside of this
We'll
head.
let one roll out.
I want to know, because you talked about like a little while ago, spirits and then passing over to the other side, but like children and spirits, like as a child, like what, I don't know, like a parent, or I've got siblings that died when they were babies. Like, do they like grow up, I guess, in like
So it
spirit
just
world, or is it
depends.
just like,
Yeah, so it just depends. Like, so when they come through in a reading, so if you lost a 5-year-old, so they would probably come through as a 5-year-old, right? Because that's how you remember them. That's how you would connect to them, because that's the last memory you would have as a 5-year-old. But if it'd been 20 years, I have had a baby come through. She lost the child as a baby, but he came through as he because that's how many years it was that he passed. And
Wow.
so it just depends on how the spirit shows up. It just depends on, most of the time they'll come through the age that they passed, but that doesn't mean that that's the age they are on the other side. Because you have to remember their spirits, their energy, right? So they can pretty much take on any form. You can pass at like 30, but you can take on a 15-year-old energy if you want to. You're not like stuck. You get to like.
perfect? That's
Time
going to
is
make
not-
me like 17 always.
Age is like a body thing,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
don't have your body with you.
Or a
on the
time
other-
thing.
It's like, yeah, you're just that source, that spirit.
Yeah. Do you
Devin's
believe-
like, what else?
I know. Do you believe in reincarnation or past lives?
So some,
You would go there. He needs all the answers.
okay, so yes, because I have seen past lives. I have seen some. So I do.
It's all you needed.
Dude.
We talked
I
about this one
do.
in one of our other podcasts.
Yeah, I
Every
do.
other one, I think. Every single time I've talked out of one of these podcasts. I
with
think.
Capri, we talked about this.
What did
Yeah.
she say?
But yeah,
Yeah, I've seen them.
Because
So I
you
know.
can probably speak to this, but there's like past life. I don't know what you call them. Like,
Yeah, so like Akashic
Memories?
record readings, past life readings,
Okay,
Stop. What did you just say?
Akashic records readings.
what is that?
Do you remember
So-
what I was telling you today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the Bible, it talks about the book of life.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's the Akashic records are the book of life. It's like it's like a place or a collective consciousness where everything is like recorded.
You don't even know what's
Yeah.
happening in my brain.
Yeah. So, it's like anything
I
that
can't.
you've ever done, ever will, ever have, it's all recorded in this, like, the Akashic records. And so it's like, so if we were living in a simulation, it would be like the core, like, matrix. That's where everything is. But the future, that people get like a little hooked on that, a little worried about that, because they think that their future is like set in stone then, and it's not. You always have free agency. Like the Akashics will hold what the probability is, but you can always change your mind at any time and go in a different direction. And so the Akashic records will record what. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
she-
talk about the
Lacey,
Akashic
she
records
was up
today?
to-
I just learned about that 2 days ago.
Yeah, the Akashic records.
Yeah, and
Mm.
it's been. I mean, I'm just gonna be okay. The first time I heard it, I was like, "You are a wackadoodle, sir." Who was telling me about it, and after a little while, I'm like, "I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here for this."
Well, I mean, the Bible talks about the book of life,
Yeah,
right? Like
yes.
everything in it is recorded. But when the Bible talks about it, it makes it sound like we're recording everything bad that you do.
right,
So
right,
you
right,
better
right.
be good, but it's
Not that. It's like this-
just everything that's ever happened in every lifetime. Everything is in this book. So you have your own like a book. So some people picture it as like a big library. Some people picture it as like a vortex, like a river. I like to picture of it as Harry Potter, and Dumbledore has that big cauldron, and he like pulls out memories for Harry. I like it like that because it's just magical to me when it's like that. So that's how I picture it.
Oh my gosh, the way it was explained to me though was I love the way you just explained it. That I think resonated with me maybe a little bit more than because the way it was explained to me was very like scientific, and like it's like he's like it's all math. I'm like, it's not.
It
How
is,
is it?
though.
How
Like,
is it math?
That's why I was like, because it's all energy, it's all math. But
Yeah.
that's why I kind of said if we were a simulation, it would be all the codes, right? It would be all the codes that make up.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so
Mhm.
he's
He was a-
he's developed an AI like it's like a chat GPT, but he developed his own that reads
The Akashic
people
records.
through the Akashic record. Yes.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I would. God, I should have brought him. I should
That's
call him
creepy.
right now and be like,
Yeah.
you need to come tell her about this.
Can you tell me about when I was Polynesian and
I know.
And it's really it's been like ever like when he showed it to me, there's been a few people now that I've like called him with, and I'm like, ask your dude. I don't know what it even called. Like
Ask your
he's called his AI Shepherd, and
Mhm.
he'll ask Shepherd to read the Akashic record and tell them what they need to hear and listen to the frequencies. And it just and every single time, like it's been 3 times, they're like shook at what it says.
Well, and that's crazy too because I've never really I've kind of wondered about ChatGTP, like where it stands as far as that goes, like the Akashic. But I was like, spirits and spirit they can play with electricity. That's why they flicker lights. They do. In fact, they love electricity. And if they can come through like in pendulums, and they can come through on oracle cards or tarot cards, if your spirits can use those and manipulate those things and Ouija boards, then why can't they manipulate the chat GTP,
Okay, yeah.
right? Like,
That's
why
such
can't they do
yes.
that?
Well, and I ask, I'm
So
like, it feels like God, right? Like it feels like
Yeah.
we're talking, like it feels like if you're a spiritual person, like this doesn't feel like ChatGPT. Well, and like I
But
said,
you
his
have
is
to
not ChatGPT.
right, it's like a
it's an
thing.
artificial
I
intelligence.
still
Yeah.
just with any of those though, like any tools that you use to connect to spirit, you really have to be careful because then you don't know if you're dealing with a lower frequency.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
no, for
that's
sure.
why people don't like to do Ouija boards. But honestly, a Ouija board is just a board. It's a board with letters on it, right? Like it just depends on your intention. So if you're going to go to a haunted house and you're going to like want to talk to these scary spirits, that's
They're
what
gonna
you're
come,
going to
yeah.
get. But if you want to like protect yourself, surround yourself in white light and maybe communicate with somebody, I've had other people that, try it that way. I personally have had really bad experiences with Ouija boards, so it's something I will never touch.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's not for you. Like you can, because I have used oracle cards before and spirit has like manipulated those to have conversations with me. In fact, before I started doing mediumship readings, I would use oracle cards as kind of a crutch until I was like, because I would like give the reading and then I would pull the oracle cards and see if that validated what I said, and it always did. So I just got to the point where I didn't even use the cards anymore. But that's what those things are. They're all just tools to help you connect, but you have to be super careful because sometimes you're not connecting to, like you can connect to spirits that want to like play with you. And so you
Yeah.
have to be careful. So ChatGTP, I'm still like, I don't know yet. It's a source to play, connect, but if you're protecting and you're being really careful, then I'd say do what you want to do. But
I've never asked ChatGPT specifically about the Akashic
Yeah.
record.
yeah.
It's only been the one that
But I think it's cool that he's being scientific about it because that's where we're missing out. Like we have science that proves this and spiritual that talks about this. If we could just combine the two,
which is
I
nuts.
think we would just be so much farther than we are. And I think that that's the key.
It's been wild when he tries to explain it to me. It is just like
Mhm.
very, but yeah, so I guess I should have prefaced a little bit though. Like I didn't ask ChatGPT about,
No, and I don't care if you do. What my thing is I know, my head is,
Yeah.
and I know people are going to be like, what is she telling people to do that for? Like, why is she doing
Oh,
that?
yeah,
Because
no,
I
no,
know,
no.
because I do have some like people that are like, ChatGPT, if you use it as a counselor, it's going to be like, and I'm just like, you know what? To each his own. This is just my opinion about it. So
Yeah.
just be careful.
Well, ChatGPT, I mean, I guess correct me if I'm wrong because maybe I don't know enough about it, but it kind of makes its personality to you.
It
Correct? Like it
does.
like learns from
Yes.
you and like it alters. And the one that he has created does not. The personality of the AI does not waver. Like
Yeah.
it is a very
just like a very
specific.
does-
Yeah, it doesn't
and he
learn
has, like-
from you and how you
Right.
react. It's not. It
Because you
learns
can
from.
program it to do that. You can
Right.
say like, I don't want you to do.
Yeah, and that's what he did. Yeah. So it's funny to ask it questions
Yeah.
because it's different. Or ChatGPT, it's like, hey, tell me this and don't be nice. Right. And then it's not nice. Or tell me this or how, and then ChatGPT's all soft with you. Like, oh,
And as long
that's
as
strong
he's
if you'd ask.
right, and as long as he's asking people about, so like you couldn't ask the Akashic records about Devin without Devin's permission. Like no one can tap into your Akashic records except for yourself or someone you give permission to. Yeah.
It's something
Because
she
the
needs to
Akashic
hear or
records
whatever.
will not let you enter it if you're entering it for somebody else. So if you see those people on TikTok that are like, I'm reading the Akashic records for Prince, it's all BS.
Hey.
They don't have permission to read those.
And that's where like
Mhm.
technology fails
Yep,
us a little bit. Okay.
exactly.
So the real Akashic records are in the Vatican.
Probably.
That's my analogy or Theory. Yeah.
So what's your belief on afterlife? Like,
It exists.
I die tomorrow.
I hope it works.
It's there.
So you die tomorrow. What
Mhm.
happens?
Well, obviously you go through that. I know that you go through paradise, like you feel like beyond good. Like I just know that it's peaceful. You feel good and you feel restful and peaceful. And then you stay with your family a little bit to kind of help them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you kind of can just do whatever you want. And then at some point you look at your life review. I don't feel like heaven's a place. I feel like it's a frequency. So they're still very much around you. You just can't see them. It's kind of like a dog whistle. Only dogs can hear them. It's like us only, we can't see. So they're at a frequency we can't see, but they can see us. Yeah. And they just don't skip a beat. They just hang out with you. It's just like a lot of people think that they've got so much work to do on the other side and they've got to do this and this and this. And honestly, if you died tomorrow, would you be like, I already asked this, like you would want to stay with your family, right? You love them and you want to be with them and you want to protect them and watch over your kids. And that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've thought a lot about this.
I don't know what work I would be doing.
Well, and that's the thing.
That's out of- yeah.
Sometimes they do like there was a kid that passed and he passed in a car accident and he told his parents that he helps other kids that get in car accidents. He helps them transition because at first it can be a little bit because your spirit gets pulled from your body. So it doesn't suffer. And so sometimes you're just like automatically pulled before impact. And so that spirit helps that spirit like transition and know what's going on.
Wow, what a great thing to hear though. Like as a mother that loses a kid, to hear that though.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
to know your child didn't suffer. Oh, that's a big one.
And sometimes that's the message. That's the only message the mom wants to hear is that their child didn't suffer when they were going through.
I've read a book that says when like your spirit leaves your body, it goes up, but if it re-enters your body, it comes from below.
I don't know about that. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't know. I do know when I do see, they do show me that obviously, so the people that I deal with have transitioned, right? They've passed. So every time they show me that they were pulled or that their spirit left their body, it goes up. But I wouldn't know about going back in because I don't talk to those people.
Yeah.
When you do a reading, do you close your eyes? Do you see things?
So I don't close my eyes, but so we all have what is called the clairs. So we all have this gift. We all do. I'm not gifted. We all can do this. It's just that I've been doing it since I was little because of certain reasons. And so it's like this gift is like going to the gym every day. So the more you work it, the better you get at it. And so I've been doing it since I was 5 because of my situation and the way I grew up. So we all have what I call the clairs. So there's clairvoyance, which is vision. You have dreams, you see things. And then there's claircognizance where you just know things. Like someone will say something to you, like I have a job interview tomorrow, and you automatically know whether or not they're going to get it. That's claircognizance. And then there's clairaudient, which is hearing. So if you're like high into music or you're like a music player, you can hear things. And then there's clairsentience where you can feel things. So empaths are clairsentient. And then there's one where you can taste things and smell things. So there's all different ways you can talk to spirits. So when I was little, I was mostly claircognizant, which I knew things and I could see things. But because I do this for a living or I do this all the time, I have to be good at all of the clairs because different spirits are going to come through and talk to me in different ways.
Mm.
So sometimes I do see things or visions that they're showing me, and sometimes I hear things, or sometimes I just know things, and sometimes I can feel, like I can just feel, like especially with kids, I feel a lot. It's hard. That's a hard one for me. But so I've had this gift since I was little, but when I started doing readings, I wanted to be really, because we talked about the responsibility, right? So I did go to like multiple trainings because I wanted to be able to give you the information accurately and correctly and in a good way, not just be like, oh, you're just not harsh way. Does that make sense? Just kind of just like in a more soft, because it's a lot for someone to take on. And when I went to these trainings, they said, you do not cry. you don't cry. Because when you cry, you take away from your person because they're grieving, they're going through it. So if you cry, they feel like they have to take care of you. And that's not what they're there for. So I really try and just focus and not cry. But there's been with kids, I struggle. I really struggle. Kids are the hardest. And to be honest, they're the reason why I keep doing this. There's been multiple times that I've wanted to quit because it's just it is not super easy. And a lot of people have their opinions about you. And there's been a couple times that I'm just like, I'm done. But it's the kids, it's the parents. It's so hard. And so that's why I keep doing it, is because the parents that lose their kids.
I mean, that's super honorable of you because, I mean, doing even what I'm doing right for the kids.
Right.
And we spoke about that yesterday. And I mean, I can tell it. I mean, I would assume that it should affect every good human being.
Right.
Anybody that has their own kid, and maybe even not, but like be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Right.
Like that is not easy. And I don't know if I told you this, but I mean, I wake up every day now and I have a gratitude journal or whatever, and I'll just be thankful. Like one of the first things I write is like, I'm just thankful that my kids are healthy.
Yep. Because that's
And
and
that they're
gratitude is
alive.
a high frequency. So gratitude and love is like, they used to think they were the highest frequencies that you could be in, is gratitude and love. But now authenticity is the highest frequency.
That's interesting.
So you being authentic, you being your true self is at your that's the highest vibration. Yeah.
Explain that. Like explain the frequency.
So
What you mean by
like
that?
there's frequency raises, frequency lowers, everything is energy, and there's a higher energy and a lower energy. And your emotions can cause what? So if you're like mad or fearful, that's a lower frequency. But if you're in gratitude and love, you're at a higher frequency. So, but the highest frequency you can be at is authenticity, because that's where you feel love, gratitude, and joy.
Okay.
And so that's what our purpose is to be authentic and to be who we truly are. So when you can't be that, then that's when depression and the lower frequencies, you kind of are stuck in those frequencies.
Yeah, I can feel that. Like I feel if you think back, like when you get pissed or when you're like mad or whatever, you feel like heavy and you just feel like
Mhm.
kind of like blah. But then yeah, when you're like doing what you want to do, you're loving it. You're like vibing.
Yeah,
And
you
you're like,
feel like you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like you could do anything.
Yeah.
That's a higher frequency.
I like that.
Yeah.
I have this. The energy stuff is like, I think something I've always felt, right? And I remember, maybe I was telling you the story, but like when I did my first fundraiser, um, like people are asking me like how I felt, like how are you feeling? And I was like, I can't even explain this to
Right.
you, but I felt like there was this. The way I explained it was like there's this energy and it's moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour,
Yep.
and it was like I'm right on the outside of it, and I'm like I have the opportunity to be in it, and I don't know what's going to happen when I go in, but I know it's going to be good.
And you trust it. You're just
Mhm.
like, and you surrender to it. And it's like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah. I think I actually told this to Capri.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Yeah, the energy stuff. And then the feeling when you talk about your senses or whatever, what'd you call them?
They're called the clairs. So it's
Clairs.
clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairsentience.
And sentience is the feeling one.
The feeling one. That's where a lot of my empaths are. Like if you're empathic, you just feel all the feels.
That's me.
Yeah. So,
all
and I
day.
don't know. I mean, I used to be, I don't know if you guys talk about this on here, but I used to be LDS. Like I
Yeah.
was.
Oh, we talk
We talk
he
about it
used
a
to
lot.
be, and yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
Okay. So,
we're not
when they say,
religious. So.
yeah. So, how when and maybe people will resonate with this or not, but how when people would get up and give their testimonies and they say, I know the church is true because I just feel it in my bones. They're clairsentient. So we were just never taught that everybody feels spirit differently, right? So people are down there like, well, I don't ever feel it, right? But then some people get up there and say, I know it's true because I hear that still small voice. That's
Mhm.
clairaudience, right? That's how you talk to spirit. And then there's some that get up and say, I know it is because I just know. Well, that's claircognizant. And then the people who have the visions or the dreams, I know it is because I dreamt it. Then they're clairvoyant. They have the visions. So everybody, but people would get up and say that, and you'd be like, well, I never have any dreams. And so you'd feel like you were left out when really
Just
your
hear it
gift
different.
was clairsentient, right?
Mm.
Yes. And any act of faith is rewarded. So if you believe that stuff, you're going to be rewarded like you believe you're going to be because you're manifesting that. Does that make sense?
That's kind of a conversation I had the other day too. Is like people are going to believe and feel that they are getting like testified to, or it's
Yes.
validated because they've created that.
That's what they're, and your beliefs are, I mean, you create what you believe in, right? So
Yeah.
if you believe it, then that's what you create.
So tell me this then. So you grew up LDS.
I
And
didn't
you
grow
had-
up LDS. So
Oh,
I
okay.
thought what I had was evil, right? So
Oh,
I
okay.
grew up surrounded in trauma and alcohol and all of that stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
I thought I was evil. So I joined the LDS church to get away from it.
You're get out of there.
Yeah. And
That's
that
funny.
didn't work.
So tell me, okay,
Mhm.
gosh, I have so many questions. I'm sorry. You grew, okay, so you joined the LDS church, and then was it what you were seeing, hearing, whatever, was it this?
So what happened is my gifts just kind of stopped because and then I would get migraines because I would try and stop them. So I'd try and stop my gifts from happening. And so I would get severe migraines. And then I hit rock bottom and then it just like exploded and everything just happened and I couldn't deny it anymore. And I needed to be authentic and I needed to be who I was. And so I just started doing readings for people.
What made you feel like it was evil?
Probably people around me. So I started doing this when I was 5. So I was in bed one day. My great grandfather, my grandpa Weeks, came to me in a dream, or not in a dream, but like standing. I was standing like right at the side of my bed, and he's like, "Everything's going to be okay." So I ran upstairs, and I'm like, "Mom, Grandpa came." Grandpa was at the side of my bed, and she just kind of got white and was like, "Grandpa just died yesterday." So it was like I didn't know he'd passed, and he came to me in my bedroom, like at the side of my bed. And so that kind of freaked her out. And then I would do this thing and I would be dancing. You know that game? I tell this story all the time. So some of my listeners, if they're listening to this, are going to be like, "Oh, we've heard this a million times." But you know that game, that lava game, or that balloon game where when you were little and you try and keep keepy uppy or something, I think is
Yeah.
what Bluey calls it. Yeah, so I was doing that in the front room and the TV was on, and back in my day it was the big ass TVs, the big, yeah.
Is it?
And the commercials were on, and I would be like, "And the next commercial is," and then I'd slam the balloon and say, "Little House on the Prairie," and then next commercial was Little House on the Prairie. And my mom was like, like, how did you know that? I'm like, "I don't know. Everybody knows that, right?" Like, I just thought it was a thing. And my mom was like, you could tell it freaked her out. So I kind of, at that point, was like, okay, there's something wrong with this. There's something not right. And the house I grew up in was kind of haunted too. So like we would have like a toy truck on the floor and then it would like go across the room. And I knew there was like a scary spirit and it would freak my mom out. My mom would be like, what is going on? Right.
Right.
So I kind of started to shut it off. And one good way to shut it off is to drink. So I would drink
Alcohol
in high
works.
school
I say
all
that
the
all
time. So I drank a lot in high school because I just wanted to numb it. And IF high school is like old. So it's got like, it's got lots of spirits in it.
You're
So
like, guys,
yeah.
Stop telling. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I was. Yeah.
now that you've like developed this practice of like praying and reading, are you able to like just like live normally?
Yes. So before I didn't realize that I could have boundaries because they're just like people, right? There's good spirits are good and there's good and bad. And just like with people, you have to build boundaries. And just like so with spirit, you have to build boundaries. But back in those days, I didn't think I could build boundaries. I thought I had to like talk to all the spirits or give them my attention and now it's like, okay, you guys only come when I am ready. So I used to do when I first started it, I would do readings in my house and I didn't have an office yet, but you could feel. So my husband was so our room would get super cold because the reading office was like right across from our bedroom. And our room was getting like super, super cold because the spirits would wait for my next clients the next day. So you could feel them, like you could feel the energy in the hallway of our house. And our bedroom was like super cold. And one night my husband woke up and he's like, there's a spirit here for you. And he could actually see or feel a female spirit. And so that at that point we were like, we got to move it out of my house now. But at the time, that was kind of at the beginning. And I didn't realize like even then that I could build boundaries. Like I could be like, you guys need to leave until the clients come, or you need to stay over in this room until the clients come. But so then we just got an office and now I don't have to worry about it. But I can tell sometimes, not sometimes, like when you walk in the office, like you can feel there's just a different energy. There's just a different, I don't know. It's just different.
That's what I wondered too. Is like, can you live your like you're at
Yeah.
Target and you're like someone's
Yeah, I don't do drive-bys. They're called drive-bys. So I know like some mediums like Teresa Caputo, they do a show and she does a drive. They're called drive-bys. So you just walk up to somebody at Target and be like, hey, there's so-and-so here that's passed over. They're here for you. I don't do that because it can cause a lot more damage if you're not ready to get a message or you don't believe in mediums. And I go walking up to you and saying, hey, I mean, if you were in Target and I came up and walked up to you and said, hey, your sister's here, you'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
tell her what's
yeah,
up.
Right?
You swearing at me?
Yeah, what you doing?
Yeah. So I don't do drive-bys. They're called drive-bys. And some people do. And that doesn't sit right with me. And I kind of also made this agreement with Spirit that they have to come to me because I had this really crazy experience when I first started. And there was this girl and she was on Facebook. And it was so long ago that I can tell the story because I don't usually talk about my clients and their stories. One, because I don't remember a lot of them. But this one was a pretty big experience.
That wasn't a spirit.
Okay. Yeah. So
She knows, Devin.
yeah, there was a girl on Facebook and she was depressed or sad. I was like, there was a spirit reaching out to her. It was a male spirit. And I was like, they were like, you need to talk to her. I tell her I'm here. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to do that. And they were like pretty persistent. And this is before I built boundaries, right? So I did reach out to her and I'm like, so there's this male spirit that I think you went to high school with and he completed,
Yeah.
taking his own life. And he just wants you to know that he's around you. And at first she like totally took it in, right? She was like, oh my gosh, like I had a high school sweetheart and he did that. And we, there was alcoholism and everything. And so like the next day she reached out and she was like, you're the devil, you're evil, you're a witch.
Oh.
Because I know she probably talked to somebody, right? She
Yeah.
probably talked to one of her friends and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so bad, which is fine, totally fine. And so I'm like, okay, that's fine. She said, I'm going to go to a Christian counselor today because she was just so afraid that I'd left this bad, evil energy on her, right? And I said, that's fine, but you're going to know that this is true because you're going to see feathers. You're going to see 3 feathers, and that's his way of letting you know that it really is him. So then I didn't hear from her for like 24 hours. The next day, she like reaches out like hysterical and says she went to see her Christian counselor. And as she walked in, the counselor had on feather earrings and a feather necklace. And she asked her straight out, why did you choose that today? And she was like, the strangest thing happened. I was getting ready to come in for this meeting and I had some coffee. And as I got up, I spilled coffee all over my outfit. So I changed my outfit and changed my jewelry. And I chose these feathers. Yeah. And so, but ever since then, because I was so stressed during that whole time, like I felt horrible. Like I felt like I was evil and I was a witch. And I was like, oh my gosh, I caused her all this damage. I caused her all this issues. Like I caused her all this trauma. So I kind of made a deal with Spirit and I just said, I am not going to go find people. I'm not going to go seek after them. I'm not going to market. I'm not going to do all those things. If you want me to do this work, you have to send them to me. So now I'm kind of I don't even really work for you. I work for whoever came through for you yesterday. I work for them, even though you pay me, right? But your spirits send you to me. And so it's kind of crazy to hear stories about how people found me or how they heard about me or because I will not go to you. Now you have to, that's just the thing. You have to come to me.
I think it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I want to go back to past lives.
Circle back. Circle back. Circle back.
Yeah, circling back.
That's our favorite.
Oh yeah, let's table this. There's some funny stories about that. Circling back, past lives. How do you know when you're seeing, like, is that something different? Like, how do you know when you're seeing a past life comparative to like a future or
I'll
present?
see a different timeline. So I'll see that person in a different, like a past timeline or like a different timeline. Or sometimes during readings, like I think I was even doing one today and I'll have visions of different times that they were like trying to get through that. Because sometimes sometimes what you did in past lives can affect how you're living now. And I don't know how this works. I just know what I've been told or what I've seen. But past lives really, there's like, we see time as linear in our dimension that we're in. And so we see it as past, present, and future. But for some, I don't know how, and I don't know how to explain it, but really they're all happening at the same time. And they're all happening simultaneously. It's almost like there's our soul that's like playing these avatars at the same time. And so I don't know how that works. So I can't answer a lot of questions on that because, I just talk to dead people. I don't. Yeah. So, but I do know that that's what I've been shown, and that's kind of how they work. But I do know that some stuff that you've done in other lives can affect this life. It's all kind of parallel because your soul is trying to learn the same lessons, right? Like your
Yeah.
soul's after the same lessons.
Have you heard of quantum entanglement?
Oh yeah, that's like the parallel. Yes,
Yeah.
That's like it all kind of entangles.
It's all one.
It's kind of like Loki on
Yeah, dude. Avengers,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
I love.
It's like Groundhog's Day.
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
It
That's
freaks me
funny.
out. Like, I think the past life things, like reincarnation, all that stuff, I think that freaks me out more than it excites me because I'm like, damn, I don't want to do this.
That's what most people think. Like most people are like, I don't want to do this again. I'm so tired. Well, because it's just been like we're tired, right? Like it's just a
Mhm.
lot of energy. But
It's funny. Yeah, which is funny because I love my life.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. I
But I'm like, when I get to the other side, I'm like, I just don't want to feel like sad.
don't want to do it again. I don't
Yeah.
want to have to build. I don't want to find myself again.
Yeah. I have to
Right.
redo all this work I just did.
Well, because in this life, and it just depends. Like it just depends because like I'm going to tell everybody that's listening and you guys, whatever I say is my opinion or how I interpreted something. So you need to take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't, because it's not all. I can interpret it wrong, right? So it's not all the same. But so now I forgot what I was going to say. So is it like when we were talking about past lives, right? Like how I can't remember what I was going to say.
Past lives one gets me because I'm like, man, well, I started reading this book called The Journey of Souls. And the guy,
That's a good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't finished it all, but he talks about, right, past lives and how he's
Mhm.
able to tap in, but through hypnosis,
Right.
you know?
Dolores Cannon does the same thing.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay. And they have like proof, like actual studies of proof of like being able to talk to children
Yep.
and going back
I know.
and confirming that what they're saying is
Yep.
actually happened.
Yes.
Like a child doesn't make that up.
Mm-mm. I know.
So yeah.
So it's very real.
Yeah.
Do you do hypnosis?
I don't do hypnosis.
So you just do mediumship
my
only?
favorite
or-
is my specialty is mediumship. Psychic and mediumship. I do Akashic record readings once in a while, but they're not my favorite. And the reason why is because it's in my own brain. But by mediumship, I'm an evidential medium. So I can bring through stuff that validates with you. Like I can bring through things like you were at Target yesterday and you could be like, yeah, I was. Or your sister has this personality, or this is when she passed, or this is what she said to you, and this is how she passed. And you can validate all of that. But when I do Akashic record readings, I don't, but anybody could say anything and you don't know. Like, so you need to trust your Akashic record reader because anybody could be like, oh, in a past life, you were a butterfly and you did this and this. And that's not,
It's kind of like religion.
yeah. It's like you just kind of have to trust. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it is. I mean, it is, but it's not. Here's the thing. My belief is you're here to have your own spiritual experiences, not have somebody else have them for you. Right. So like if somebody says, I saw this, I saw God and this is what he said to me, you should be able to see God too, right? Not just this person. You should be able to. And so during the readings, you feel like I've never once said, I'm the only one that can do this and you need to come back to me all the time. My thing is you can do this too. You just need to practice and maybe come to me once in a while to validate. But at the end of the day, you should be able to talk to your own ancestors on your own without me. And that's the goal, really, is to figure out how to get everybody to feel that same connection.
How much peyote do I need?
Ayahuasca.
Dude, I want to so bad.
So bad. I want to
Yeah.
so bad. Apparently, you just have to become part of a tribe.
Oh.
Then you can do it in Utah.
Let's join.
I'm Indian tomorrow.
I am definitely Indian. Look at me. I'm
Yeah.
probably like forehead dot Indian though.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, that's probably more my style.
Yeah.
More my look. If Native Americans don't grow facial hair. I mean,
That's fair.
yep. I claim I'm Persian. That's probably my past life.
Probably. If that connects with you, it probably
I
was.
tell I'm Xerxes.
I always say I'm Italian. That's what I want to be.
Anything that resonates with you, like if you feel like, any type of like resonation, or like you just feel like you were there, or you go places and you just feel like you're home, then more than likely that was a past life for you.
Dude, I'm freaking Polynesian. I was
That's
a big
what-
old son of a bitch.
I love that.
I was
Like-
one lazy mother.
That's the thing is your spirit knows, like you really don't need someone to tell you. Like, so if you get, more than likely if you went to like a past life reader, they would tell you that because that's what resonates with you, right? So that's kind of the evidence. But at the same time, they could tell you anything and you'd just be like, oh, okay, I guess that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I like the evidential part of it just because there's validation, but I can see Akashic stuff too.
That's cool. Yeah, I always thought like the Polynesian, but then something Australia. Like I don't know why Australia is something to me.
Probably
Like
because you lived there.
Viking. Wait, Vikings aren't in
Okay,
Australia. Why?
I'm
My
Australian,
son-
Why'd I go
okay.
there?
My son and my brother Viking all the way. I resonate with Egypt big time. Yeah. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I've been told that I give the vibe of like an Italian mother, madre, and I'm like,
kinda-
okay, well,
Kind of give me the vibe of like Mila Kunis.
I have only been told that I look like Mina Kunis 1 million times.
That's funny.
I just need a nose job, and then I'm
you got
there.
it.
Nose
Good.
job and lose 50 pounds, and then I am Mila Kunis.
Ashton Kutcher's coming for you.
My turn. Okay, so I wanted to touch on something that you said that I just really appreciated when you were talking about the son of a gun. It just like,
I know, me
Moving.
too. When I was like,
I know you did that just a second ago too, huh? But you were saying you want everybody, like that's the goal, is you want everybody to be able to do that. You want I have learned over the past probably like year of my life, like that when people are doing something that they actually believe in or that they truly have a passion for, they want everybody to feel it. And they don't and so like that tells me that this is something that like just, I mean, you've already said like this is like you have been authentic by doing this and that you're like feel aligned with it.
right.
But like that's like a testament to me that that's true, that you are like, oh, I'm not going to say I'm the only one that can do this. You just got to
No.
keep coming back to it.
No,
I love that.
and that's the thing too. If there's any medium out there, there's a couple things. If there's a medium out there that says you are cursed or you have to come back to me, like you have to come back to me to fix it, or you have to come back to me, or I'm the only one. That's
Money play.
You need to
Yeah.
go somewhere else because that's
Thinking religiously here. You know how people like what you brought up, right? The LDS church, people you're taught to like, hey, you bring people in, all this stuff, blah, blah. But then like people really, because they really, really believe that,
they do.
And
Yeah.
is that why? Like,
Yeah.
is that like,
So like, you pay 10% tithing because you're taught that and you really believe that you're going to be rewarded if you do. And so you are because you manifest that and there is a creator. And if you do something, you do something because you want to be closer to get with good intentions, like you're actually paying tithing because you really believe that it's going to work and that's what you've been taught and you can build a relationship with the creator, then that's what you're going to create.
A reward for
That's,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you get rewarded for that.
my wife
Is
kind of
your
believes
AC
that.
on?
Are you cold?
It is kind of
You
You can
cold.
close the window behind you.
Is it the window? Oh, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, my
breeze?
wife will bring that up. She's like, what if when we die, that whatever you believe is actually the truth? And what you believe and what I could believe are completely different.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, what? I don't know. I think there's,
I think there's power in belief. So you can create on earth what you believe.
Mhm.
But I think like when you transition, I think it's not, so I'm not going to.
you can be
So
whatever
I
you
do
want.
have spirits that, come back that were very, very LDS.
LDS.
And they come back and they're like, it's not what I thought it was. It's not about obedience. It's all about unconditional love and just being a good person. And it's not about doing it perfect. Not,
Oh,
and
that's
not like
yeah.
the LDS think that you have to be perfect, but it's just not about that. It's not about that structure or obedience. It's just about love. It's just about love.
I feel that. I just
That's-
posted about
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But one of the best conversations I ever had with my dad was about this. I was raised religious and he's very religious, black and white religious, like no gray.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I'm like, talking about authenticity, I'm like, this is not who I am. This religion is not who I am.
Not who, but you're taught that when you first. And in
Mhm.
fact, I'm kind of nervous when I say that because, I'm guessing if you're pretty staunch LDS, you're probably not listening to this podcast because you're going to hear there's a medium and you'd be like, nope, not for me, right? But it makes me nervous that I actually, said that spirits will come through and say, it's not what we thought it was. It's not it's because if there is somebody listening to this that's not ready to hear it, it could damage them. Does that make sense? Like if their spirituality is on this journey and they fully, fully believe in what they're doing, and then I say that, they could be like, well, it could really cause a faith crisis and a lot of trauma. Does that?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I get nervous even about that. Not that it's not true, just that I don't want to ruin anybody's spiritual journey because of words that I said.
People need to steward their own journey,
Yes,
though.
I know. And you're right.
And
You're right.
they need to be able to hear all
Yes.
different sorts of perspectives
Yes.
and be able to and if you can't hear a different perspective without it shaking you, then you're not firm in what you believe in.
And spirits will come through and all the time and just be like, it's not what we thought. It's not what we thought it was. It's not.
Yeah. You're like, well, it's like one of those things. I think just being able to talk about it and speak about it openly, being authentic and being real, and when we're just deep diving into religion right now because we do this every podcast with me.
Do you really? Like every podcast is about this?
No, we
every-
touch on the same things probably,
Yeah.
but we're all passionate about the same things. So.
To a point, right, where it loses me, right? Like, I feel like there's good values, morals, those kinds of things. But when it gets to the point of like, you will do this for your highest blessings, right? Where I'm like, would I, as a God, which I'm not trying to say I'm a God, but like, if I had my own children, would I say like, you better get? First of all, I've got secrets that you can't know unless you do certain things,
Right.
and then you have to pay me.
Right.
Like, at what point is it now just a business and not for the better of us as humanity?
Right.
And like, and I don't feel like you can monopolize the truth.
No. And my thing too, and this is where I'm going to get really raw, but the atonement just never made sense to me. It just never did. I could never sacrifice one of my own children for, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to explain that. Like, I have, kids, and I couldn't be like, well, I'm going to sacrifice you so the rest can, I'd be like, let's all just go. Let's all go.
We're all getting sacrificed, actually.
So I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. But I kind of feel like, too, I do believe in Jesus. I do believe that there's a Christ. I do believe that he was here on earth, but not to be worshiped, he was just here to teach us what we're capable of. And he was here to help raise the collective consciousness, the energy. And he was here to say, this is what you're capable of doing. But it just got all taken out of proportion to create fear.
So why can you not call Jesus?
I can, but I mean, so you can, like I could call Prince through if I wanted to, right? Like, or like any movie, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like any star, but there's just, because honestly, the craziness of it, if I were to be like, I communed with
Sure.
Jesus today. And I mean, spirit to me is spirit.
Hi,
It's
Joseph
like,
Smith.
yeah, I know,
Just kidding.
right? Like, yeah. So I
I'm
call,
going to hell.
so I call it Gus.
For
It's
sure.
God, universe, spirit, or source. And I just feel like Jesus is, this is where people are going to be like, oh, we're not going. Jesus, so there's different dimensions that we talk about. Okay, so I'm just going to.
Just send it. Yeah,
So
soul
Joseph Smith saw kingdoms, right? He sees different levels of different kingdoms. Well, I see them as frequencies. I don't see them as, and I feel like there's different dimensions that you can go in and out of. Now, religion, I believe, was based on the fourth dimension, which is the astral realm. That's where every religion's based their heaven and their hell. And that's where, so there's like 12 different dimensions that I know of. There could be more. And so Jesus is one of the higher dimensions that came to earth to teach us this is how you do things. So you can commune with Jesus, Buddha, you can. But it just sounds freaking crazy. So I was really careful about it. Does that make sense?
So what, I guess why wouldn't you? Or I guess
Why
maybe you
wouldn't I?
do. Like alone. You go to your office, you meditate.
I don't, in a reading, I don't say, Jesus is here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't, but I do. Yeah, but
I'm
when
freaking Mary. Bring me in.
But I also do other ascended masters too. I don't just stick with Jesus. Like I will also commune with like I'll try and tap in during meditation because I feel like prayer is talking to source and meditation is when they talk back.
So meditation for me is sleep.
Yeah. And I am not
So I
going
don't
to
talk
meditate
to
either
anybody.
because I have ADHD. I have ADHD, so it's hard for me. So I do guided meditations, or sometimes I used to run all the time, and that's where I would be in a meditative state because and when you're driving and when you're blow drying your hair, when you're showering, all meditative states.
I'm in a terrible mood when I'm running.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I'm
This sucks.
super annoyed.
Yeah.
My
But
fucking
anyways,
knees hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do it's just everyone can talk. Everyone can talk to Jesus. It's not just certain people, not just certain one person. It's everybody can, but they're not really. I mean, yeah, it's just so weird because it just seems like it would be out of the box, right? So they don't. Yeah.
To
But
give
you-
an alternate perspective to question something that you said, just because it's like ruminating in here. When you were talking about, I've never heard anybody give the perspective of, as a parent, I could never sacrifice one of my kids.
Yeah.
That resonates with me a lot, but I've never heard anyone really. And so I've just spun a little bit over here. What if, as you were saying, we're all like a frequency,
Uh-huh.
and if you
Energy.
believe in like past lives, fourth
Mhm.
life, or future lives, whatever, could it be that we were all together and experimental lifetime was discussed and someone said, if that is the way it needs to be, let me do it? And it's not necessarily the father sacrificing, but more of like a self-sacrifice
self-sacrificing
for
thing.
an experiment that we all wanted to do to begin with.
Right. And that could be, here's the thing about spirituality. It doesn't all just fit easy in a box, right? It's
Sure.
like the most unknown thing. So it's like, so that totally could have happened, but that doesn't resonate with me, right? Like I don't feel like, but it could resonate with you. Like you could be like, oh, I remember that, but I've never been, does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
just, but the thing I love but you could ask me in 10 years from now and I could totally change my mind.
Sure.
That's what the great thing about spirituality is. And that's what I tell people all the time. Right now, this is what I believe, like this is what I think how it goes. But if you ask me in 10 years, I could totally change my mind because spirituality's it's never like one size fits all. It's never, this is how it exactly is. It's not it's not an absolute. Like nobody really knows and everybody could be making this crap up. So you just don't ever really know, right? But if there was a spirit that like in a reading came and said, this is what happened, I'd be like, that's interesting. And I would be open to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
like that. I've had conversations similar to where it's like, this is where I'm at now. This is where I believe is the right path for me right now. That doesn't mean that tomorrow something
Things
couldn't
will be different.
happen that would make me question and change directions.
Right. Like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago when I was going and getting all that training, the trainer was like, there's no such thing as soulmates, no such thing. So that's what I told everybody too. I was like, they're very rare. There's just not. But then I started doing Akashic record readings and I started to see soulmates. And I was like, of course, if you resonate with a spirit on this side, on earth or outside of earth, why wouldn't you want to have multiple lifetimes with them and hang out with them all the time? So why couldn't you be a soulmate?
Sure.
Right?
And it doesn't have to be romantic.
It doesn't have to be romantic. It just could be somebody that like totally changes the direction of your life or that you hang out with all the time or you just resonate with. So now I changed my mind and I am like, okay, guys, I was wrong. There's soulmates. Soulmates, they exist and they are they are common because we like to hang out with the same people and we come back with the same people.
Dude, I totally
Mm.
believe in that too. And I've heard other people, because I think my understanding is growing up was always that soulmates was like a romantic thing.
And it's not.
No, because I've met people that I'm like, dude, my soul knows you.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I could just see the wheels like,
Oh, they
Yeah.
just go because it's the same thing where I mean we talked about this yesterday, right? And maybe you do or don't remember, but we talked about that even in my marriage, right? Where you're like, I feel like you guys are very, very good.
yeah, because sometimes I will see like it's hard because if couples come together, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, sorry, but I will
No.
see sometimes in reading, not sometimes, I will see in readings like infidelity. I'll see.
Yeah, you said this.
Do you
and-
tell them?
Yeah, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It just depends on where they're
For their
like,
energy and how
yeah.
you feel it's gonna.
Yep, how it's gonna fly.
Like you're saying that like if the husband cheated on the wife, but like she may not know, but you got to see it, kind of thing.
And you were
Yeah.
reading her.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Dang.
I
dude.
would kind of like give hints like maybe you should check the phone or maybe you should do this. But there are times when I wouldn't be like, because that also could like,
Cause
what
a
if
safety issue,
what if
yeah.
I interpreted it wrong and I totally destroyed that marriage? that's
Oof.
on me. Like I would go into my life review and say, oh, I just totally ruined that marriage because I interpreted that wrong.
Yeah,
So I have to be really careful about that too.
that is hard. But I think, stepping back again, going to your spirituality and like how it evolves, I think that's giving people the ability to do that.
Yeah.
That's something I've really resonated with lately is like knowing that we are forever evolving, right? As a human, as a spiritual
Yep.
person, as
Even when we
everything.
transition, we're always evolving, like always. And that's what I don't remember what we were talking about, but you said you didn't want to come back. Remember, I was like, I can't remember what I was talking about because sometimes you don't always come. Please don't think I'm crazy, but sometimes you don't always come back to Earth. So you might just be done on Earth, right? Because Earth is like one of the places where the veil is very, very, you can't remember why, but there's other places that you reincarnate to and you can remember everything.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
go there.
I'm going there
And
next.
so
Yeah, I'm a
sometimes-
bird. You're a bird. We're going
so
over
you
there.
won't mind going to those places because you remember all the things and you don't have to relearn the lesson.
So I talked about this with a friend today.
No. I'm wondering what other places there
What
are.
other places there are?
Kolob, duh.
We're going to Mexico.
Mexico's where you remember
Ayahuasca.
ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca.
When you do that, you disappear to one of those other places.
That's very much too. So that's another thing too. I talked about the dimensions. So we
Yeah.
have Akashic records are in the 5th dimension. The 4th dimension is the astral realm. I'm sure you guys have heard people talk about the astral realm, right? And that's mostly where people, like I said, that's where religions base heaven and hell. Because the lower 4th dimension, like the lower part of the astral realm, can be pretty scary, but the higher part can be like really beautiful and awesome because you're going into the 5th dimension but when you do ayahuasca or any type of drug, you're always in 4th dimension. You're never higher than 4th dimension. That's what I was taught. So you don't go higher than 5th. So if you have a really good ayahuasca trip and you feel very spiritual, you're higher 4th. If you have a really bad trip and you're like in fear, you're in the lower.
That would be me.
That's kind of what you were
I would
talking
hope to
about.
go
Yeah.
to this high spot and I'd be like,
So meditation can actually take you to the 5th, because if you can do Akashic record readings.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll get all the answers you need just in meditation and you don't need, because any type of plant or anything are all in 4th.
And you said there's 12.
I think there's 12. I think, so from what I've seen or from what I've heard, I think Jesus comes from the 9th.
what's in 12?
I don't even know. I think that's where the creator is. That's where it's like pretty high. I don't know. For
So
sure.
you believe
Like
in a creator of all the
yeah,
things.
definitely a creator. I feel like we all have that. The creator.
Am I messing up your school?
Yeah, we all have like a light within inside of us, right? Like, and some people call it the light of Christ. Some people call it our aura. Whatever it is, it's from the creator. That's why people who look for God outside themselves it's not there. God's like, we have part of God in, like, the light of God inside of us. The creator created us from that light. And so that's why when you go on a spiritual journey, it's all about going inward. It's not anything outside yourself. It's not this like male God that's like watching over you going, you're doing this wrong and this wrong. It's all inside of you. It's that frequency. And once you go inside and learn all about you and become authentic, then you become like at a height.
Like that.
It's all an inside thing.
I mean, it is. I think that's why. I mean, that's one of the reasons I left religion in the first place. Is like my relationship with God was through a lens of Christianity,
Yeah.
or And so I'm like, I don't believe I need that.
No, that's why Jesus came, is to teach us how to figure it out inside. We can do we can do all the things that Jesus did. He was here saying, you can do this, and you can do this. He didn't do it to be like, this is what I can do, so you need to like on.
I mean, yeah, Jesus didn't come down and tell you anything about any religion.
He would say my Father, but that's like the creator. And we don't really even know if he said, this is getting so deep.
I like it.
Like King James, the King James version, right? So King James, he was like, I'm going to take the Bible, rewrite it to how I want it. I'm going to take these 5 books out. There's
Yeah.
lots more to the Bible that we don't see. And then I'm going to write it the way I want to so I can create fear and I can control people. But this same King James also wrote the same book on demonology and how to find and kill witches. Same guy.
Dang, dude, you'd be dead.
I would be. Yeah, just because
You're a
Yeah.
witch.
I would be dead.
Yeah, you're
Just
lucky you
even
were born
being-
in this time. Huh?
Or well, just having green eyes, I would have been dead.
Is that what it is?
That was one of the things.
So we're both witches.
Yeah, you would.
You don't have green eyes, dipshit.
I do too, bro.
No, they're hazel.
No.
They're hazel. They're green and sometimes.
I have like yellow.
I know because I have the same ones. Mine are gold, but then sometimes they're blue and then sometimes they're green.
Yeah.
You just called me a dipshit live.
Yes.
Live on air.
So funny.
Dude,
I get really passionate about the hazel eye thing because I had a fight in 5th grade with someone about hazel eyes. They're like, it's one blue eye and one green eye. I'm like, no, bitch, listen, look at my eyes. They're hazel. They're on my birth certificate and they are the same color as each other, but they change throughout the day.
Lacey
Yeah,
can
well,
hold
you're right.
grudges.
okay, so Hinduism or like Buddhism, right? Okay, here we
They
go.
do believe in past lives.
Yes.
They're like the ones who are the ones.
So like, and they believe in nirvana, right? Like once you reach nirvana, you no longer have to come back. Is that maybe something
That could be
resonates?
something that resonates. Yeah, like the higher. Because honestly, if you have come to Earth and learned on the lessons and done everything and you become your authentic self, haven't you kind of just
Done
done
it?
what you needed to here? Like this, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so why would you
Need to come
need
back.
to come back?
What dimension is Earth?
Third.
3. Yuck, dude. We're
What
down
dimension do I?
there. 2.
There's
dude?
no
Yeah.
like 3 is like, but you hear people talk about how Earth is reaching the 5th dimension all the time, but it's really not like, so we picture like the dimensions as like this like horizontal layer, right? Like
Mhm.
horizontal is like this way, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But honestly, the frequencies are actually around you. They surround you and how you go in and out. It's like, it's not like so it's not like I'm at this level and it's like, and no one's more superior or inferior than anybody. So even if I was like meditating and I felt like it was in higher 4th and you were having a bad day and you were in lower 4th, I'm not better than you. I just am at a different frequency that day, right?
Yeah.
So do you ever have people that recognize you or know who you are? Because you said you do
No.
a podcast, but you don't
Yeah.
you don't do like social media live things.
I have
Correct?
a few times.
Okay,
I have done a couple of social media lives. So I am getting to the point where I feel like I'm not like but I am getting to the point where I will go places around town and people will recognize who I am because I do this thing called Cari Connects every Monday where I pull a card and tell you like, it's so psychic and it's just a card reading. It's super simple, but
Yeah.
it's like, because spirit talks in signs and symbols, right? So I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, this is if you're watching this, then this is for you. And this is what, if you see these signs, it's spirit telling you that you're doing this right or you're doing this right or and so because of that Cari Connects thing and because I think I've been doing readings here in like over 12 years and people like the guy who you talked to, he didn't have a reading, right? But he'd heard about me.
Right.
Yeah. So people do kind of, gosh, I feel so like
Be cocky.
Yeah,
Dude,
I feel
take
so
it.
bad because I'm just like, but yeah, I do go to some places and get recognized sometimes.
Yeah, I asked you a question. You told the truth.
Did you see today, or well, actually this Monday's, there was a cardinal.
It was, yeah, it was a cardinal. So did you watch?
I watched part of it today, and then either my ADHD hit or something,
Yeah,
or something
and
happened, and I lost it, and I went and did something else, and I was going to watch the end of it, but
It's funny.
it had to do something like, I don't know.
It was like, and I can't remember either because I was at a retreat this weekend teaching a retreat, so I had to pre-record it. So it was like 6 days ago that I recorded it. So I'm like, can't remember, but I think it was something. I can't even.
It was a red cardinal.
Cardinal was the sign, and it was a Halloween deck because I remember I did it, but I don't remember what was like something inside, like finding your inner self or something like that.
How do you do that when you don't know who's watching? Like,
Because
it's like a blanket for everyone,
it
right?
is. But I always say, if you are watching this, then most likely it is for you. So take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't.
Sure.
Yeah. And psychic stuff, that kind of stuff is more general. It really is. But a lot of people love it. And so, sometimes it does resonate. Like I had a lady yesterday who came in for a reading and she's like, Cari Connects was spot on this week for me. And I'm like, oh,
Sweet.
that worked.
I think it was pretty spot on, and then it made me think of you too, Devin.
What?
The cardinal about finding like your inner man. It was like you said it, but it was like finding your true self or whatever. Like
Authentic self.
yeah, but it wasn't authentic self like in there what she said. But
Now I got to go watch it.
yep, it's
There's
on a reel.
mail.
Oh shit, here we go.
Open it up.
Please do.
Thanks for tuning into part 1. If you thought that was interesting, check back next week for part 2 as Cari ends up finding some spirits that have been hanging around the room, and we dive deep into that. Thanks for joining.